welcome back to the Now Morning Show, where I am feeling very conscious about my posture because joining me this morning is a woman with a long list of titles. She is a national volleyball player, dancer, a saxophonist, and now we are adding, in addition to her titles of Miss World TNT 2019 and Miss World Caribbean 2019, now we are adding founder and director to her titles. Good morning and welcome, Sasha Noel, to Tajane Remy, the founder of the Intangible Experience.
Yes, thank you for having
me. I got it all right. It was a lot and I was doing my homework. But then you have to tell me, how do you find the time to create this intangible experience? Why are we creating this experience altogether?
Yeah, I mean, it sums as the culmination of why I entered Miss World in general, about using my learned experience and creating it in a space where I can be an ambassador, where I can represent. I did it with representing Trinidad and Tobago in volleyball. Of course, I went to the international stage in London, and now it's time to segue, as our birdsong representative just talked about. And the segue is now thinking about what are the fundamentals, what are the things that are important, that are long-lasting, that are transitional and transactional. I think about the things that have helped me go into so many different spaces and different fields. Right. And those are the intangibles, the things that you can't buy, the things that you can't order on Amazon. Those are the things that you're going to have to nurture, that is in everyone, but needs to be excavated and unearthed, able to be sharpened and whetted and used in a way that's going to benefit everyone. And this particular project is for women, young women who want to take up space, who want to be able to have their voice and make it in any phase or space that they're in.
Well, space, emoji too, it works.
That's it.
Tell me what it means though then to take up space, because it's something that has been reoccurring, almost like a reoccurring theme in the promotional videos I've noted for the event. So what does it mean to take up space?
Taking up space for me means similarly to what I was talking about using what you have, using your unique experiences, using how you were raised and what you were raised, and thinking about it in terms of navigating your life. I've been fortunate to be able to be a part of different spaces, and taking up space means having an opinion and knowing that your opinion and your voice can be heard and it matters. And because you're in the room, that means you just have to take it up. You're there anyway. And I want to give women the opportunity to do that well, to do that to the best of their abilities. And I think Intangible is a way for me to pass on that knowledge, to pass on the things that I've learned throughout the time, and that allows me to be confident in the courtroom. I'm a social worker and I work in the Children's Authority, and to be able to speak in front of a master or a judge, it's that type of confidence isn't unearthed not only in what I know, but the ability to speak and articulate myself and be eloquent, and how I posture myself and hold myself together.
Let's work on that this morning. Roka, sit up, let's work on that. Yes. But yes, one title that I forgot, still find the time to do your social work and continue to give back, so that this is just an extension of who you are, really and truly.
You're right, yes.
You're going to be teaching, among other things, yes, posture and the abilities to deliver, but what other specific facets will be covered in this one-day crash course?
It's a one-day crash course, tall order, but I'm committed to doing my best, and I know that the evolution of this project isn't going to just be on this one day, on the 27th of February. Yeah. I think it's about all the things that I can merge in one day. One of those things is also walking. Okay. And how do we think about our body and think about our anatomy, so that we'll be able to use it in a way that we can. So for instance, women who would want to go into pageantry, those foundational steps are so crucial to going into representation. If you want to become a model, if you want to become a pageant queen, a representative, an ambassador, those things are really, really important. And of course, that skill, or the way that I'm going to be teaching it, is something that you can use when you speak as well, because we know that when we hold our posture, it's very important for us to be able to breathe and breathe diaphragmatically. So all of those keys and items are really, really important, and that's the way that we're going to be talking about it in terms of public speaking and merging it with walking, and of course personal development, because all of this, of course, I'm a social worker, I have to think about how we think about ourselves, think about our body, think about our voice, and use it in a way that we can do it positively and know that it's unique and special and use it in that space.
Sounds good. Now you have the challenge of doing so in a pandemic where you may not be able, or you absolutely wouldn't be able to touch and move persons the way you might otherwise be able to do so. What's the format like?
Yes, so it is physical, but of course it has to be social distance and all protocols have to be observed. It's a safe zone. And so the space that we're going to be in is in Couva. One of my stakeholders or one of my sponsors during Miss World, they're Luvo Cinematography, and they have a beautiful open space in Couva. And we have, quite a few numbers that we have had to reduce because of the space and because of the pandemic. But we're going to do our best, and of course we're going to ensure that safety is priority.
Right.
Yeah.
How many persons are we looking at then?
We're looking at between 10 to 20 persons, and it's very difficult to do so, again, just because it's a pandemic, but I know the evolution is going to come. So perhaps we may be looking at another cycle in the next couple of months, and maybe thinking about which aspect of that one-day crash course was more in demand, and maybe having it on the virtual space. We never know, but I'm excited to see what it turns out to be.
Now, people do have to register beforehand. So how far are we or close to the maximum right now? Can people still register?
Can people still register? They can, but I would say to do it as soon as possible. It is intangibleevents.com that you go on to log on onto our website, and you'd be sent an email and all the other correspondence in terms of payment and all that.
Now, are there any prerequisites or initial learnings that one should come with?
No, and that's the beauty of it. Come with your raw, your expectations, of course, to grow and wanting to participate and engage in the program. That's the only prerequisite. If you're a young woman between 15 and 35, come expecting to learn, come expecting to share as well. One of the things that I'm excited about is that community. This virtual space has prevented us somewhat from becoming more involved and more engaged, and I'm hoping that the space, just with the few numbers, are going to be able to be one that people are going to feel related, women are going to feel as though they can make exchanges and foster that type of exchange not only in intangible spaces but in their family, in their community, in their own groups.
I love it. Yeah. We've seen the onset of many brunches hosted by everybody for woman empowerment, but here we have something that is on a very personal level, helping to empower females. Beyond the person interested in getting into pageantry, or even just looking at improving their physical selves, who else are we going to reach out to? Because I know that sash means we're still going strong with reaching the world. What is next?
What is next? I'm excited to see as well. I think I'm very fortunate to have been in different spheres, so the opportunity and the options are so wide, and I want women to know that the options are wide. And of course, we could talk about all the barriers and limitations that could prevent certain women from striving and being able to be mobile in their social environment.
Right.
But I'm hoping that Intangible is another opportunity for women to have access, know that they have access to, and navigate their own spaces in that way.
All right, fair. So we may see another cycle coming up. We may see a virtual version, all sorts of iterations. Maybe see one that includes both genders, because everybody needs to be empowered, yeah? Yes,
that's one of the things that I found interesting. Not interesting, but I was happy to see that men are reaching out and wanting to know that if they have access to the program. And unfortunately, this particular cycle, I've tailored the curriculum in a way specifically for women between 15 and 35. Okay. But I'm excited about seeing how I can include men and include different, of course, persons from different cohorts, maybe persons from older age, or maybe a younger cohort. But all that is going to be in the learning, and I'm hoping that this first cycle helps me direct that expansion.
I imagine. So this first cycle starts when exactly?
It's on the 27th of February, and just in the middle of Carnival, ironically. But I think it's going to be a great time for the women who are going to be a part of it. It's a whole day event from 9 to 5, and food is included, so you don't have to worry about that. Yes. And we're going to have a great time. And we're going to learn and share and engage with each other.
Well, I'm glad that you shared with us, and we have learned what the Intangible Experience is all about. I'm looking forward to the learnings that you will have to share in further versions, speaking it into being one time.
I receive it.
And of course, looking forward to what is next for you specifically. as I said, you're wearing the sash still. We still have commitments that you are actually a part of. What are you up to and what is next for you?
So the Miss World competition is going to be, it was postponed, it was supposed to be in December.
Right.
And it's going to be in March. So very, very soon, Janine Brandt, our representative, is going to be in Puerto Rico again. She's made the top 40, so that means that she's going to represent us again, and we want to rally our support for her. And so at that point, I will be relinquishing my Miss World crown, but I've been the longest reigning Miss World Caribbean, so I think it's about time. What do you think?
I think you've done a good job. I don't mind, but we will see what the future holds, and we will certainly be continuing to look forward to whatever you bring forward in terms of the intangible experience or other experiences as well.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a job well done, because a lot of people would have, you know, reveled in the experience for themselves and not necessarily shared it in any other way. So, ladies and gentlemen, mostly ladies, the Intangible Experience is on the 27th of February. Be sure to check them out online to register. Few spots still available, right?
Few spots.
All right. Intangibleevents.com is the website. And you can, of course, find out more online, Facebook, Instagram, and everything in between. But for now, thank you very much, Miss World Caribbean 2019.
Thank you
for joining us on the Now Morning Show today to tell us all about it. Good luck.
Thank you.
Beautiful stuff. Now, rockers, let's work on that posture. Any tips?